You are me. Simply Youth Ministry Podcast with Doug Fields and friends.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Game over, man.
What's the fight with you, bud? We're all here.
Hey everybody, Doug Fields here, episode 61 with Matt, Josh, and Jana.
Hi.
And it has been a couple weeks since we've been together, even though we've said consistently, like
Yes.
after episode 50, that we would get together. And we were actually talking a little bit beforehand, saying this is the first time that I didn't have to send out an email to Josh to say, where are the emails?
Exactly.
They were on my
on
chair
your
when I
desk.
got into the office this morning.
They're like 2
printed
weeks
nicely.
old, but
Yeah, they're very old, but
No,
they're
it's
there.
very responsible.
We've had Thanksgiving. We had the Youth Specialties conference that I was away at, and
Yeah.
actually we wanted to do one the Wednesday before Youth Specialties, and Andy was out of town because
Yeah,
he went
Andy
there early.
was kind of big time.
So there's a lot of stuff going on, but let me just tell you, because none of you went to the Atlanta Youth Specialties Convention.
I was there.
That was so fun for our PDYM crowd. I mean, for our podcast crowd. Probably fun for our PDYM crowd.
Probably fun for everybody.
But I would say in my sessions, I would say, how many of you have ever used a Simply Youth Ministry product? And people would raise their hand. Then I had said, how many of you listen to the podcast? People didn't raise their hand. They cheered.
oh
gosh.
no!
Yes,
That's
which is
awesome.
so funny to me.
Oh.
That's the appropriate response.
And then today, as I was reading these emails and preparing for this, I thought this is the best batch
Oh wow!
of funny emails, good question emails. I just began to pray, Lord, please give Matt wisdom.
discernment.
Yeah, well,
Please help the show be as good as the emails.
Well, yeah, that'll never
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we got a lot of love in Atlanta, and here's still the number one question: Are you telling me that you guys really just sit down and do that thing? You don't talk about it. You don't think up bits ahead of time.
No.
We
don't-
actually
we don't
thought
have
of.
to
I
think,
think
of
about
bits.
it
We
all
have
week
Matt.
We thought about it. We thought about bits
When
after
don't we
session
think about
one
it?
or before session one
Yeah.
or
Before
something
session
like that,
one.
where
Yeah.
we thought about like light things on fire and
Yeah.
steal from each other's
Have
house
recurring
and
segments and stuff.
segments and
Yeah,
bits.
no,
And then
yeah.
we decided, no, let's just print them. You guys show up,
There we go.
and
And
we'll-
literally,
we'll
what
go.
we've done today is we've walked in, said hi. Bam.
Well, let's say Jana was early.
Yes.
Okay, we had a 2:00 tea
You
time
were
here.
early, technically.
I was.
1
On
minute
time.
early is technically.
Well, I was on time.
1 minute's early.
Josh walks
For
in.
you, that's
Little
like
late.
A little late. With
Fashionably
wearing
late.
new sunglasses.
Fashionably late.
Flips him up on his head, and I'm like, hey, Hollywood. He goes, hey, I'm a rock star. Get on board. Not sure what that means. It means maybe his blog numbers went up last
Yeah.
month, and he's something
Now
excited
number
about.
It
30.
means
33,000.
the
Gamer
Seabringer-
score or
it means
something.
The top on the Seabringer was off.
The top on the C ring is off. It's November
C-ring.
and C ring.
Sebring.
Seabringer.
Spring. Okay, my top
I
of
don't
my
even know what you're
convertible.
talking.
His
Oh, your
car.
convertible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
Which is a
so,
Seabringer.
I'm
Thank you. I could care less.
Bringer?
I don't have any idea.
What is it called?
It's not
The
a
Sebring.
Who
Yes.
cares?
It's
Josh
It's only
has
got
a
one set of
convertible.
ING.
Yeah.
Josh
Josh,
moves
is this-
from Michigan
To
to
California.
California,
First
wears
purchase
short
I
pants
made.
most of the year.
Today would
and
be
buys
the
a
exception.
convertible.
Not
Absolutely.
realizing that his sexual preference has been in question ever since.
Just because
I
the
don't know about
Sebring
that,
is
but
a
it's a
middle-aged
little-
woman's car,
Yeah. Might
as well get a
and it's green.
Cabrio.
And it's green. It's not even red or black or.
Is it
Silver.
green?
Silver's what I really wanted, but they didn't have it. So
That's
I just-
forest
No
green.
love for the
Yeah.
Cabrio comment, huh?
No.
Anyway.
I do like Sebring. Was that a bit, or were you really thinking it was called a Sebring?
Is there only one set of INGs in there?
Yeah.
I guess I was wrong.
All right, let's just go around real quick. How's the future of the church been?
Church has been excellent.
Yeah?
Future's in good hands, which I like to say is the Lord's hands. Really.
Your
Yes.
What-
cute little
why don't
hands.
you-
Things are exciting.
Why don't you
Things
tell
are-
about your future comment that you made? That's one of the reasons we don't talk before we go on air, because good stuff comes out.
Well, I just knew I was a little late, and so I had to have an explanation for why that was late. And does everybody know the future's kind of an insider? So
No,
you
people
wanna
know.
explain
Believe me,
that?
no, people know, because when I was reading these emails, people are referencing. I'm telling you, there is so much insider language and
Right.
humor amongst our podcast friends. It's
Wow.
unbelievable. But for those maybe that are new or just listening,
Right.
Yeah.
Rick Warren told Matt, because Matt's now
What
in
was it?
charge of the regionals at our church, going into multiple campuses, that he was the future of our church.
That's right.
So I
So that's
refer
a-
to him as the future. Now,
Which is
go
great.
ahead.
And so I just said the great thing about being the future is that I wait for nobody, and everybody else has to wait for me.
That is true.
I think that's perfect.
And Andy, I'm watching
Finally,
his
the roles have turned.
his microphone is about
A foot.
Oh,
a
it's
foot
great.
from his mouth, and
I think it's
are
good.
you think you're okay?
Well, Nadim's checking it. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
Nope.
sound guy is
All right.
gone.
I think
That
Nadim
way
can
we
hear
won't
it.
pick up his heavy breathing, though, so we're good.
Hey, that's a long flight of stairs.
It
Come on.
is.
That
Still, 10 minutes later?
So,
How about you, Josh? What's happening? Doing all
not
right?
too much. Yeah, things are good. Family's doing great. We had a great Thanksgiving, and yeah, just figuring
did you
out
go
the
home
future.
from Michigan for the
No, we
Thanksgiving?
You and your
invited-
18 kids?
We invited over. You're well on your way, so be careful. We invited over. We don't have any family in California, so we invited over people in our friend pool that
Hey,
don't
Nadim,
have
can you hear me
family
pretty
out here.
good?
Nadim just
Okay.
came back. Hey,
Yeah.
Nadim.
There we go.
We
Did
were
you just
wondering,
email
can
me?
you hear
Hi.
that
We're doing
okay?
a podcast here.
Oh, man.
So we had some friends over that don't have family in the area, like us, and had a great time. And for the first time ever, we had rice served on Thanksgiving
Oh, wow.
Day, so that was
Taffy
fun.
Because
must have-
Taffy was there.
Taffy was there,
All
and
right.
we
That's great.
Did he
Jana?
show you the
rice.
science of making it, though? 'Cause
Exactly.
That's the best part.
He knows rice.
Good.
well?
Life's good.
Pregnancy going okay?
Yes. Thank
Sick
you.
at all?
A little sick yesterday, but doing much better today.
All right.
Thank you.
How many
for
weeks
asking.
along are you?
17?
18?
18?
So
Yeah,
you'll
close.
find out.
Look at you.
Just a guess?
Stalker.
Yeah.
Just a good friend / stalker.
Yeah.
So you'll find out in a couple weeks then, boy or girl.
Christmas morning.
Why did you find out
Really?
Christmas morning?
Because we're going to
You're gonna seal it. You're gonna seal it and
Yeah.
open
You're
it
gonna
like
keep
a
it a
gift.
secret. How are
that
you gonna
is
keep it a secret?
so
Like have
lame.
We did it with Bella. They put it in an envelope for us, and then we'll open it as a family on Christmas morning.
That
Don't-
is
don't look at the
so
screen.
lame.
Why is that lame?
If you shop at Pottery Barn, it's fine.
McGill. McGill, you can't say it's your guy.
It can
Your
be
guy.
lame. Who cares?
that's pretty
Well, good. You admit it. That's great.
It's not.
It's not lame. It's cheesy, but
No,
it's not lame.
not. It's very family friendly.
It's-
Matt is a guy who, on his wife's birthday, I say, McGill, have you bought her a birthday? She doesn't want anything.
No,
just know.
I've bought her birthday presents
Yeah,
before,
so
so.
let's-
She likes to bank her holidays and save them up for something big.
Yeah.
And then when it's time for that
Wait,
something
this is
big thing,
cool.
she just goes and buys it on her own.
Bank her holidays.
That's what
Bank
she
your
calls
holiday.
it. She actually banks her
She
holidays.
does call it that.
It
I've
really
heard
is
her.
a beautiful thing. It's a little
Like
romantic.
she got some
beautiful
earrings a
thing.
couple
If
years
you weren't
ago.
so cheap, you could just buy her a good
Just
present.
buy her a
All
gift.
right. This is
I buy her presents and I get in trouble.
this is the example of when we say, even if we had no listeners, we would do this
Right,
anyway.
this is it.
But,
But we do have
let's remember
listeners.
we have listeners. So let's get to their.
Yeah, we have to be a lot
All right,
tamer
here we
than
go.
usual.
Ben Wheeler, while at the Atlanta Youth Specialties Conference, I visited the SYM booth to pick up a copy of your 1-minute Bible, free plug, so I could evaluate it
Andy
and
just
see
smiled.
if it's something that would be useful for our student ministry.
So he's
Free
evaluating
plug.
scripture.
Yeah,
It's a Bible.
He didn't really even need to evaluate. I've told him it's the best thing he could have got. I'm sure. Told everybody
I'm
that.
sure God needed your endorsement.
See, I just became a fan of our show now.
Yeah. I was informed by a nice young lady whose name escapes me that you had copies
Andy.
on the way,
His name is Andy.
but they hadn't made it to Atlanta yet. I thanked her for her time, was about to leave dejectedly when Andy, who I guess had heard part of our discussion,
Super Andy.
Dun
came,
dun dun
well,
dun.
the reason he heard part of the discussion.
Yee-ba-da-doo.
Hello.
What? Dollars?
No, I wasn't thinking dollars. I was thinking ear size.
I knew where he was going the whole time.
Thank you.
When
Oh
he was
my!
this is an insider joke
Okay,
too. When
let's-
Brazo was a small child, he was ran over by a skateboard, so they replaced his ears with radar dishes.
Your humor has sunk to the level of our graphic artists.
Holy!
And
I-
you're stealing lines, so we're in trouble.
I thanked her, and I was about to leave dejectedly when Andy, who I guess had heard part of the discussion, came over and asked if I was looking to pick up an evaluation copy. I said yes, and Andy said, hold on a second. Then he went behind the display and
Behind.
produced
The
a
Oz.
copy of the 1-minute
Oh
Bible.
my!
He had his very own Gutenberg press.
I excitedly thanked him
He quickly
and
printed
went
it.
to go pay. Andy stopped me and told me it was free.
He gently put his hand on my shoulder
No,
and said,
it's for you.
Please go buy 100 boxes.
Well, here's what he said.
"They're on sale for $9.99 on our website
They really are. That's
Starting now or December?
No, right now.
right now." Oh,
Black
I just gave
Tuesday.
you a free plug. Sorry about that.
Was
Today's
Jack here
Wednesday.
all day for Black Friday?
Here we go. Now I know you guys.
Oh, one and one,
Got one hand on the shoulder.
Matt just got the gentle touch from Doug.
There's one of four.
Here's what McGill said ahead of time. I said, as we look, I told everybody, I said, I want to start talking about some of these emails, but let's just get this thing recording because it's going to be good. And Matt says, I'm in a good mood. And we all kind of laughed, and he says, I think it's going to be a 4-shoulder touch.
And we got
And
one
that
down,
means- that
3 to
means
go.
that's-
Relax, Matt, relax.
All right, here we go.
Anyway,
back to, the email.
back to
So,
Ben Wheeler.
Andy gently touched
Now,
the-
I know you guys like to give him a lot of grief about being frugal with the inventory, but I wanted to share this story and stick up for Andy's giving heart.
Unbelievable.
Okay, let me just pause. Let me
Thanksgiving.
just pause and tell you something none of you
Christmas.
guys know.
I know it.
The
Andy.
You're
reason,
gonna sell me out.
yeah, I'm gonna sell you out.
You're gonna sell me out.
This guy's
Of
giving you
course.
props for the reason.
You're still frugal. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's see if you guys can guess. Why did he give it to him free? What do you think?
Unbelievable.
Because it wasn't marked with. Oh, wait a minute.
It was-
He's not
it
inside
was-
the store anymore, right?
It was missing a page or a bent
No.
cover or something
No,
like that.
close.
Because you were giving him out at another session.
Because here's why I gave it to him free. Because it wasn't for Simply Youth Ministries inventory. The publisher sent us 750
Oh, wow.
free to give out to my seminars. That's
Ding,
why
ding,
I
ding,
gave
ding,
it
ding,
free.
ding, ding. I got it right.
So-
Ben, he is a great guy.
He is.
That was really
Andy,
for the men.
Andy
He's
is
just
a
cheap.
great guy. But
Oh, he's sour over there.
Ooh, rejected. Get that out of here.
anyway,
Wow.
Okay.
Matt, any
If-
comments?
It's easy to be nice
wait,
and
wait,
giving
wait,
when
wait.
it's not your stuff.
Get
Get
your hand
ready, get ready.
what?
Just-
Your hand, just in case he says something.
No, I'm fine.
There's gonna be no more shoulder.
Here's the
rubs.
deal. I've got 3 piles. Okay, pile number 1. These are all like very kind of fun and different. Like, let me just give you. I'll give you an example of what the
Okay.
pile is here. Because let's do the one about Jana.
Is it pile 1 or pile
Oh,
A?
goodness.
Theta.
Well, here's an example. This one isn't about you, Jana, but it's in there somewhere. This is from Ben Shears, Director of Admissions, Cowley College,
Okay.
which is my favorite college.
Send us free sweatshirts. Here we go.
No, Cowley. I wouldn't mind it. I would wear a
It could
Cowley.
be nice. The Cowley or
Yeah, I would.
yeah.
I
All
have
right,
no
Ben, if
idea
you're
where
still
Cowley
listening,
is.
if you haven't quit a few episodes ago, then send us some
says-
free stuff.
Hi, guys and gal. My wife and I are
Thank
the
you.
new youth leaders of our church.
Yeah.
Okay, it's in
Yay.
Arkansas City, Kansas.
These are fun.
What?
We're-
Arkansas City,
Different.
This is
Kansas?
the fun pile.
This
We're
is a
new-
different
Oh,
one.
different one.
Arkansas State? Why would
We're-
it be Arkansas City in Arkansas?
Things happen like
Sorry.
that, man.
It's Kansas.
Oh,
We're
I thought it
new
was gonna be
listeners and spending our waking hours listening to the podcast. I
Perfect.
just want to let you know that tonight I was riding home from work on my electric moped and listening to your podcast.
Wait, should we pause there at all or just keep going?
It's
Should we-
Kansas.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's too
Kansas,
easy.
Convertible,
college
you can't
admissions,
make fun.
Cowley. Come on, put them all together.
Moped,
He's got an
Sebring,
electric
whatever.
moped.
Yeah.
He says, and I was laughing so hard I nearly fell off. I was wobbling and laughing and had to pull over to keep from wrecking when I heard Andy's small group rap song from episode number 5.
That's
Episode
awesome.
5.
When
I
the
don't either.
telephone, when you left the message, is that what it is? You left
Oh,
the message
yeah.
about your numbers.
Episode 5. That was.
That's
If
right,
you're-
that was Marla.
Yeah.
Oh,
if
that's
your humor
awesome.
kills somebody, are you responsible?
Well, speaking of
Just hit
You know,
shuffle.
Is
hit
it the
you know what?
shuffle on
same
the
as
iPod.
shooting a gun into someone's
Now
face?
that
Your humor's a lethal weapon.
Ace, why are
I'm
you
telling.
so
Okay,
violent?
here's almost death. It's funny that you transition us into that, Matt.
Shock-
People are-
shocking.
Death-
Matt would take us to death.
Death is very funny.
People think people think this is planned. I bet as soon as you read this.
No, well,
Because it's so organized like that. They're like,
Yeah,
how do they
we
just
got
get
3
together?
Well, when
Miles
you're
of
led
our
by the
plan.
Holy Spirit, the body
right.
comes together with the ligaments.
We are
This
the
is from
body.
Shane Fowler, who's a volunteer youth leader, Cross Creek Church, Jacksonville, Florida. Hey guys and gal, I don't have a question. I just want to let you know that Jana almost killed me and my family.
Unbelievable.
We were driving.
Same here.
Oh,
We were
the stories
driving
that could be
across
told.
several states for Thanksgiving, so I decided I would catch up on some of your podcasts I missed this summer. I was listening to episode 54 when my life and the lives of my wife and children almost came to an abrupt end.
Nice.
I had my earphones in and was cruising along I-10 at about 80
Because it's
miles
not
an hour.
suitable for the whole family.
Because who knows what might happen.
You guys
Oh.
decided
Cover
to
your
play a
ears.
joke on Matt by locking him out of the room.
Oh.
I'm not
I
sure.
screamed.
I'm not sure what happened, but apparently he jumped into the room and scared the you-know-what out of Jana. She
I
in
don't
turn
know what.
screamed
Baby.
as loud as humanly possible into the mic, at which point, my eardrums felt like they burst. My heart almost exploded, and I just about swerved into oncoming
no.
traffic.
The thing
Thankfully,
is,
I was able to keep my vehicle on the road, and we made it there and back in one piece. Anyway, thanks for all you do. I look forward to each podcast with great anticipation, even though one of them almost killed me.
So Matt, you would have been an accomplice to murder then, because you're the one that scared
that
him.
was the question on the table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But what I don't really appreciate about that email is that they really treated our podcasts as if it was just something for filler. I would like someone to make a weekly appointment to listen to the podcast.
We can't even make a weekly
That's
appointment.
fair
Why would
enough.
anybody else do
And
it?
This
you're
is the
late.
church. We're always expecting things we don't do.
All right.
Okay.
There you go. And that transitions us into a question.
The question is about how many of you had your devotions today? Anybody?
Oh,
Wow.
God.
Here we go.
It's addressed Doug and his League of Justice Super Friends. Greetings.
oh, at least this time we're super
Super friend, we're moving up in the world.
Here's the
you.
Doug
freebie
and Friends.
you already have, but will marvel over again and again. It's a PowerPoint game where teens
Isn't Super
have to
Friends DC,
translate
not
words
Marvel?
and phrases from text spelling. I'm a little
that's
surprised
fun.
Josh, in all his techiness, couldn't open a PowerPoint file. So here it is, all zipped up, whatever that means.
Okay.
Okay, now here's the deal. We're putting this on the freebie on the website.
No, when you send a PowerPoint file, Outlook usually blocks it. You have
It
to
does.
zip it.
You have to zip it. That's
All
true.
right.
Yeah.
There you
It
go.
automatically deletes it if it
James
thinks it's a
O'Connell.
virus.
Yeah, James. You could be a
Scolded
little
by
bit
the
more-
techies.
Scolded by
You
a
could
super
be a little
friend.
bit more technical. That would be great.
All right,
Wait,
so is that
so-
on the freebie website? People want to get it?
We will have it by the time the show gets online.
He says, on a more serious note, I've been struggling finding a rhythm for my
We don't even
ministry.
know where the emails are.
Is somebody going to write that down at least? Because
No, he's got it. He's got it. We're all
but
set.
I never read your notes.
That's not my fault.
I don't even get them
Who
anymore.
puts them up?
Chris puts him up.
Oh, okay. So you're putting
And I
a
get
note in
him.
there. Chris put his. All right.
Yeah.
I live in a small town where sports
God
is
rest
king.
ye Mary- Oh, so a lot
So,
like my house.
Texas.
So kind of where you
Choir
should
is
live.
big.
Choir?
That's
Choir.
that's two
Arkansas.
impossibilities next to each other.
It's kind of fun.
There
Choir
is
and
no-
choir football is big.
There is
Are
no
they
sacred
bandos?
night.
There's what?
No sacred night, meaning people schedule games and events on Wednesdays and Sundays, and everyone's extremely busy, and church seems to get the leftover in people's weekly schedules. I have tried talking to parents about what would be the best night for things, but their teens don't show up. What advice do you have for me? I know what you would. I think I know what you would say. I feel like God is starting to share with me some insights, but it would really help if you could give your answer or have McGill answer, and then you can follow it up. Isn't that the standard podcast protocol?
Oh, wow.
That's what you would like, I think, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we lead with the good stuff, follow up with the fluff.
All right.
Okay, here we
Well,
go.
There you
Good
go.
stuff.
Go
Good
ahead.
stuff.
Do something every night, slacker.
All right.
Just
And-
kidding.
Practical, helpful, okay.
Sensitive.
Well,
Encouraging.
James, one of the things that
It sounds like Southern California. I mean,
it sounds like everywhere, dude.
not everywhere, not Arkansas City, Arkansas,
Yeah,
Kansas.
here's the deal.
Kansas, Arkansas.
It sounds like Southern
not
California
your
because that's
Kansas,
where
it's
you
our
live,
Kansas.
and you've done youth ministry where no night is a good night. But the
Right.
reality is, across the country, everybody's busy. This isn't a new. It's not a new question. Things aren't sacred anymore. Once Sunday morning got taken over by kids' sports and programs, and it used to at least have a couple
Right.
years ago. Sunday
Right.
was blocked out, but now that's taken over. Here's my big picture principle: there is no good night. Okay, there is no good night. So you've just got to make a decision, pick one, and let
Would-
people make their choices. You
And
can't
let
make
the other
choices
kids
for
go to
people.
hell.
Yeah. Well, you remember a few years ago when we said, we kind of ran into this, actually been a long time ago, but kids would say, oh, I can't go to small group because it's on Wednesday night. And then we
Right.
changed it. We added a Tuesday night. Oh, I can't, Tuesday and Wednesday I got volleyball and whatever. And then we wound up doing a small group every night of the week. Or
With
every day
different
of the
leaders.
week. Yeah,
We did
we
something
didn't
every
want
night of the
kids
week.
out every night of the week, but our theme was no excuses. So we got volunteer leaders every night and Sunday, Saturday mornings, and so when kid says, "Oh, I really want to go to small group, but I can't on
Yeah.
Wednesday night," we
Yeah.
say, "Well, what about Thursday night? What about Friday? What about Saturday morning?" We
So
took
basically
away
what
all
you
their
just
excuses.
described is what the first thing I said.
Yes, that's probably
Just
true.
wanted to bring it around.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. No, but I was
but
being
with a
smart
different
aleck.
intent. Yes.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
trying to be funny.
Yeah, trying
Well,
keyword.
trying actually happened.
But why did we
Go
why
either
did we
way.
stop that? What happened? Do you remember?
Well, what I remember, what I recollect is that most kids were out either a Tuesday or a Wednesday, but very few were out both. And so we did, our Bible studies were Tuesday and Wednesdays because of the way the sports work and everything like that. Most kids were either out of Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah.
And so Wednesdays caught just about everybody.
Yeah. And
So- and
there
then we actually did one on Thursday night. I did one on Thursday night for some that couldn't come.
and we had one on Friday after school. I mean,
yeah, before that, yeah.
we tried to take away all excuses, but I think, one of
That
the
might have
learnings.
actually been when I was in high school too. Maybe before you were at
No,
Saddleback.
I remember it was at Saddleback.
Yeah.
But one of the learnings is there is no great night. There is no magic
Right.
night. There used to
Right.
be Sunday and Wednesday, but that's not reality anymore. There are times if kids want to grow spiritually, you can make adjustments where you meet with them, get other people who what about Thursday after school? They don't always have to be a part of your program. So Wednesday night isn't the only time a kid can go to grow spiritually. If they they've got
Right.
gymnastics and they're on the Junior
Yeah.
Olympics, but they want to have a Bible study, you can find somebody to have a Bible study with them at a time that works for them.
Well, which is what we're
Hopefully you
doing
can
our
find
junior
somebody.
high. You sign up for your you kind of tell the preference of your day and your time of day, afternoon, evening, and then we try and
figure
find
it
a
out.
leader who can lead at that same time.
Yeah.
And
So-
there's definitely been some youth workers that we've run into before that have said, man, there's no time where I could just get everybody together. And I think that's kind of a unrealistic thing. I mean, why do you want that? Why do you need to have that? I mean, obviously it's great to have a crowd and have something that's exciting and there's energy at and people come to. I mean, that's cool to do. That's what we have done. But to want to get everybody together and have that as a sacred cow so we can have one youth group. I
Well,
don't
I
know.
understand why you want to get everybody together. I guess where I would push back to say is I would like to have everyone get together, but not necessarily on. I almost did the shoulder tap again. Like, it'll be okay. You can leave your phone on the ground. But I
That's
backed
two.
off because I didn't want to. So,
Too late.
They're not going to come.
what?
3, 4, and 5. 2, 3, and 4.
Taps.
Shoulder taps.
Taps and
Oh.
all.
Oh.
Yeah, I understand.
I forgot what I was saying.
You said you wanted to push back a little bit. You understand
Oh,
having
well,
everybody together, but you're not
Yeah,
sure you
I think that's a part
weeknight.
of leadership. You want to lead with group. You want to cast vision. There's a lot of times you want your group together. I'm just not saying that it's always realistic that it has to be every week. It just has been every week. And
Well, and don't you think it's cool that we've seen in our students through the season of like them making choices of I'm choosing not to work on Tuesday night because that's when my small group is happening, or I'm choosing not to participate in another activity because that's when my small group is happening. So that's been a cool. Once we started to establish our system a little bit, then we've seen students respond to that.
Yeah, I would say if it's worthwhile. I mean, if you're asking kids to make a choice, which you are, they're choosing against something. They're choosing against TV
Yeah.
or sports or something. Make it worthwhile. Make it quality. Put a lot of time and energy into it. Sometimes youth workers ask, why aren't people coming to this? And it's because the quality isn't great. And
well,
so
or
maybe they have
I would
crappy
even say
programs.
less than a. But see, to me, it's not so much they come to a fancy program because
Well,
we can't compete with a fancy program.
I-
but there's
I
there's a
agree.
relational
People,
there's a
there's
relational
value.
connection
Sure.
that I can't
the
get.
quality of the night all the way around is what
Okay.
I'm talking about. But and I'm obviously leaning relationally there.
All right.
Make it worth their time.
This is from Rob King. I'm working on our youth publications. I have a favor to ask. Could you send me a packet of the printed material used to promote the youth ministry to the church? Well, we wouldn't send it just to him. We'll post it. But what would we send? You know what? I used it when I was in at Youth Specialties doing the small group thing. The junior high, the coffee cup
Yep.
promo. That was great.
Yeah, that is.
Most of the promo we use is snapshot promo that they could access on our website anyway and look at. But maybe we
I
can.
had that. Remember that trifold, that blue thing that I put together for HSM?
and it had all the.
It had all the sleeves
Yep.
inside it. For
Yeah. Do you still have access to it?
Maybe.
Well, Andy, let's post some of the promo material that people could look at under the freebies. We'll get some.
typo on it.
We'll get some things. A
Of
typo?
course, it had a typo on
typo?
it. You did it.
Scott McDermott from Carmel United Methodist Church, Carmel, Indiana. Matt, do you want to say anything about Carmel, Indiana? Like, isn't Carmel a state? And
You went to Carmel on your honeymoon.
Is it Carmel or is it Carmel?
I'm guessing it's Carmel.
Carmel is in Israel, guys.
You talk about the importance of taking your day off, making your day off sacred, and I try. My day off is Monday, which I like because I can relax after a hectic Sunday.
That's
My
a nice
concern is that we often have meetings planned for Monday nights at the church. and the big ones like the elder board meeting, which all staff are required to attend. I go because I have to, but it doesn't seem fair to make me come in on my day off when other staff have other days off that are never meetings on, say, Friday evenings.
Let's just adjust the
What-
whole church
Change your-
schedule for you.
What should I do? Just grin and bear it, or should I say something?
No, come in a little late the next day. Give me a break.
You don't want your day off on Monday anyhow, because then you lose the 3-day weekends, several 3-day weekends a year. So make it Tuesday.
Oh, look who's.
Gosh,
Of course
you're-
that came from him, though.
That's
Come on.
why I pick Mondays.
Because you like to give up your day,
Yeah,
day
those
off
things
for a
are so
holiday.
stupid. Monday holidays don't even exist. But with this guy, I mean, come on, Scott. You can't expect the whole church to change. He's exact words. It's not
I
fair.
know. You know what? I'm just kind of pausing. I'm kind of just pausing how different you and I are when it comes to this kind of stuff.
No,
No, because you're killing the guy before I even finish reading, and I was gonna say Scott, and just use a different angle, a different
Tone.
tone, which is fine, and we might get to the same answer, but
Yeah.
we're just
He
different.
has sugar.
I know, but
and
there's
you
a
have-
difference. You are on the show, and I carry it.
What?
Wow.
You're on the show and I carry it?
Oh,
Yeah. Oh man, the
If we have
arrogance.
to become
quotient.
Matt's
I know, I
friends
was
instead of
gonna
Doug's
say,
friends,
no.
we're in
It's
trouble.
Matt
You
McGill
know,
podcast
you keep.
with
I'm totally joking. If
Matt
I was
and the
talking to
Super
this
Friends.
guy face to face, I would never respond like that. Come on.
which is what makes the
But
show
it's for
great.
carrying
So
the show.
because you're just talking to him over the podcast, you
Yeah,
can
it's
say
totally
anything you
impersonal.
want.
Exactly.
You're,
The
you're
guy's
putting
by
on a show
himself.
now. We're
It's
not even being
impersonal.
friends.
We said his name is
Oh.
Church. It's not impersonal to me,
Here's the deal.
Scott.
Switch,
You guys,
switch
I just
your
want
day
you to know
off.
that last night Matt gave me he wasn't directing it at me, but he preached a little bit on tenderness. So he does have it in him, okay?
What
Matt
What
preached
about
on
tenderness for?
tenderness?
I
Yeah.
can't remember what I was talking about.
Yeah, it was
Approaching every conversation with tenderness.
Oh yeah, I had a great line. I got to share with you offline. It's unbelievable.
So it's in him. It's in him.
It
No,
is
it's
in
in him.
him.
It's
No,
just
okay,
very
It's
deep.
fine. It's part
So
of.
we're not trying to entertain people.
Matt is a rose
Is that right?
with his thorns.
I'm
Many,
trying to help
many
people, but
thorns.
I would love it that you're here. Yeah, let's be on. Have I not said
Wait a minute, are we
the
entertaining people?
podcast is not the
Is it-
same without you. So
That's true.
Oh, I'm
Keep-
totally. I know
keep
I
being
don't
yourself.
carry it too.
I'm
if we're
just-
gonna be serious.
I'm just pausing to
Okay.
just go, gosh, we are so different. But I love.
Scott's
We
crying
are
somewhere
I
right
know
now today.
we've done ministry together for many years, being different.
It's
What I would say to Scott is, Scott,
The
one, I
weird
would
part.
wonder how many days off, how many days of the month you have elders meetings. I think if all staff are required to attend, then you ought to be there. I would just
What are
switch
you
my day
looking at?
off on that week. What?
He's looking at Scott. He's
I
knee to
know,
knee,
he's
eye to eye
like-
with Scott
Yeah,
right now,
this
guys.
I'm
is
just-
personal for him right here.
This is Scott and Carmel.
very
His
personal
Carmel,
face
thing.
is like
actually.
on the paper.
Well, I'm thinking. I was just looking at it, trying to. If all staff are required to attend, then you got to be there. But if
Yeah.
it's on your day off, on those times of the month, if it's one meeting a month, I'd switch my day off to Tuesday, because I'd want the whole day off. Because
And if it's Labor Day, you also switch to Tuesday.
Oh,
and Josh gets an extra day off.
I have
Guys,
never done that.
the
If it's
whole
Labor Day, do
country-
you take another day off during that week?
No, we have never done
Never.
No, because your day
Josh.
off is Monday.
That is ridiculous. I don't
No,
know
I'm not
anybody
saying you
that
do
does
it.
that.
I'm not saying you do it. I'm just saying something to think about.
Whoa.
Someone just died.
Yeah, someone
Swerve,
just put their
swerve.
electric moped in the river. All right, let's change tones and read a nice one. Okay?
This is sensitive, Doug. Now,
Okay.
here we go.
I'll be
Um,
sensitive.
This is from Matt Cross, Bristol, Virginia /
He's the one
Tennessee.
that has sent us the book, I believe.
Matt Cross,
He sent the Ald the Land, the children's storybook.
the World of Warcraft book.
Nope.
All right, thank you, Matt, for sending that book. I don't know what you're talking about, but
He sent it to me and mentioned it in the email here.
Oh,
Because
you got
he
it.
sent
you
it to
got
the
the
one who
book.
carries
Wait,
the
Well, I
this
show.
is
think,
Matt's-
I think he also sent it to the pod show.
Addressed,
no, I would.
dear
I,
Matt, who carries the
yeah.
show.
Yeah,
Carry
no
the show,
doubt.
Matt McGill.
You get your copy of the
Oh.
book.
I
I'm
just had
so
to drop-
impersonal. I remember these guys' names.
I had
that's
to
all.
drop a few lines to say thank you for entering into the life of my family and myself by way of the podcast. I have had a blast listening, learning, laughing, and mostly just relating to so many of my peers. I'm honored to be a member of this profession we call youth ministry. So many times I've caught myself thinking about how everyone else in this profession is doing awesome, and I'm just fumbling, stumbling, and falling flat on my face like Josh prays.
Oh, man. Was that in there or did you add that?
No, that was in
Hey,
there.
you guys would be
Oh,
happy
God.
to know we did some carpet praying this week.
Did you?
Yeah,
Nice.
we did. Just stuff
No
going on. I wanted to pray
cardboard,
about.
just carpet?
No cardboard this time. Just carpet. So,
Okay.
speaking of this and trying to give some context to new listeners,
I'm
we
just excited that you pray.
we use prayer
I'd like to
postures.
affirm that.
You're welcome.
We use a prayer posture.
Prayer. Yeah, go ahead, read it. Look, email. Rah.
I have thought I am the court jester. Court chester. I am the court chester among
Thanks,
kings
Maria.
and queens who have donned great journeys, adventures, and won amazing battles for the Lord. Yet when I began listening to you guys,
He's a writer.
way back when Matt was weighing in, my load began to get lighter.
Unlike his.
Oh.
I am praying that Matt's load will get lighter someday too.
Oh, that's nice.
So, in the early 5-10 shows, whatever, we used to weigh Matt.
and whatever I weighed over
300 pounds, we would do it that many minutes, and we never did it once that way.
Yeah, never
I was
close.
sucked into your podcast world and found myself praying for people I may never meet. I was praying for you all, the listeners, and those who had the courage to write in, even the behind-the-scene guys and gals that you would mention. I felt like I became a part of something big. I know many times you humbly downplay what... I'm not sure Matt's humbly done anything today.
Humbly downplay your role
Does that
in
count
carrying
as a
the
shoulder
show.
rub?
No,
Yeah, that was 3.
That was a touch of affection.
That
wasn't the
Really?
settle down touch.
That
That
was-
was,
that was true.
that was I
True.
deeply love you.
You do.
How
You
many
humble
times you
son of a
humbly
gun.
downplay what the podcast is and what it is doing. I'm thankful for the approach you have by saying, even if no one listened, we'd still do this, just because we love getting together and sitting around the table and talking, which
Well,
is true,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
It's my opinion that this podcast
Jana-
does no less than usher in the kingdom.
Jana,
Until he
Josh,
comes,
and I have
comma.
been meeting together more.
Yeah.
We just
we
don't
kind of
invite
have-
Matt anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
we like Matt. Matt's just too
He
busy
eats
for
all
us.
the chips.
future.
You guys just
the future waits for no man.
I am even more thankful that you allow so
Everyone
many of
waits
us
for
to
the
come and
future.
sit at the table with you. So please keep doing what you're doing. And like so many of my peers, I will continue to come to the table and break bread with this awesome family of kings, queens, and yes, even jesters. I hope and pray you all have a great Thanksgiving. I just want you to know I'm thankful for you all. Isn't that nice?
That is
is
nice.
nice.
And then, Matt, there's a couple PSs that you can read. They're
That's
to
really
you.
nice.
I'm not going to give them to you.
Aw.
nice.
They're talking about you carrying the show and whatever. La la la. Here we go.
All right.
was
Hey,
really cool.
podcast team. Greetings
He's a
from
nice guy.
Cheryl.
I feel like
Now,
there's a food.
Cheryl is
With
Noah's...
an S or a C?
What?
Cheryl.
Cheryl. C. This is from Noah, the boy that fell on the treadmill.
Oh,
I don't want to read more
no.
from her. She,
We're gonna relive this.
I don't
should
know.
be devoked her motherhood.
Oh.
It was great meeting you at the Youth Specialist Conference in San Diego. Great news. My son is on his way home from Iraq. Now, by the way,
Oh,
I met
great.
her. I met her
Wow.
in she
Whoa.
doesn't
How old's
look.
her son?
I feel like
What's
we need some
happening?
backstory
Well,
on
it's a
this.
different son. I mean,
Oh.
she had a little
they
son.
grow
I'm
up
guessing
fast.
she had a little son that fell on the treadmill, but she does not look like a mom who has a son in Iraq.
Wow.
When she told me
Well,
that, I
don't they
remember
send them to Iraq at what age?
Well, it could be 18.
Oh, 18? Not 14?
No.
No, that's the other side.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Is it too early for Iraq humor? Yes. Yes, it is. So he's coming back.
He's currently in Kuwait, waiting for a plane to get him to Germany. He'll be home for Christmas for the
Oh,
first
that's
time in
awesome.
2 years. Isn't that great?
That is really cool.
Even Matt likes that. I'm
Humbly, he
in a
humbly likes
huge
Tender.
dilemma and need some serious help. With much prayer and insight from my family, including Doug and Kathy, who I guess were part of her family. now.
Wow.
Yeah.
More for Thanksgiving.
I've decided it's time to move into my next ministry of my family. I'm leaving youth ministry for now,
Oh,
and I'm
wow.
absolutely
Physical therapy.
clueless as to how to do this eloquently. I gave my notice to the council Tuesday and need to tell the kids now. However, my biggest problem by far is trying to figure out how they're going to transition and working with them to make that happen. They won't be getting another youth worker in soon, as that process takes some time. What do you suggest is the best option? Putting the transition team together, bringing the parents together, what? Please help. It will go public this week, and my last day is December 31st.
Wow.
So the email is about a week old, so it's already gone public.
She already got advice from you and Kathy.
Well, we talked to her in San Diego about family and doing ministry with family and the craziness that she was under. And one of the things that I say all the time is a call to ministry doesn't necessarily mean a call to work in a church full time. That there are people, you know, we have volunteers on our youth ministry team that spend more time
With kids.
with
With
kids
kids.
and doing youth ministry than those
Yeah.
who are paid to do it. So somewhere along the way, she made the decision, and probably a great prayerful decision from community and friends, and Doug and Kathy.
Family.
And now, how do you transition? So what are some? Let's just come up with a few key points. Are you texting
No.
during this?
Are you reading
I'm now
emails?
I'm texting right now. I am.
Okay. Do you need me to take that from
Yeah,
you?
this feels like a shoulder pat waiting to happen.
No, I'm fine.
Wasn't that earlier why I grabbed that? And you said, "What are you
And
taking
you
my phone
dropped
for?"
it, obviously, saying that you wanted me to text people.
Well, two things that I would do. One is
Thanks, Josh.
if you go to pdymblog.com and hit the button that says transition, it'll pull up a really interesting series of stories from people that have gone through transition.
Okay,
And
slow down. PDYM.
pdymblog.com, and there's a button that says transitions.
Okay.
And you click that, and it'll
It
sort through the
searches.
post, and it'll find everything that has anything to do with transition. I think those would be insightful. And then number two, something they could consider is, it's unrelated to the other one, is trying something like video curriculum, where if you don't have a lead youth worker or someone to organize it, but you still want to get together, you still want to have a youth group, there's some great...
Like the Numa videos. or
There's
something.
great videos out there that I hear people talk about all the time that
Were
would
you just
maybe
laughing
be
at
a good
Numa?
stopgap. Yeah.
So you're
Rob
suggesting though that
Bell's
she
videos, you were laughing?
plans a little bit of a calendar,
Exactly.
plans the weeks beyond her being
We're,
there.
here's like 10 or 12 weeks ahead, and here's some curriculum that we bought with the church
There's
budget
some
for
just suggestions.
yeah,
of-
just to give them a little bit of a stopgap while they figure out what they're going to do. So, and I think there's great. I was thinking about Velocity or Revolution. I'm thinking of other stuff. Dare to Share's got some good stuff. So I mean, there's stuff out there that doesn't require a lead youth worker teaching every week that might be helpful.
Well,
Okay, so
part of me
spend a lot of money.
wonders.
Part of it would require money.
Well,
that's
part of me
true.
wonders if she's really talking about that type of transition, or if she's talking about the lack of leader.
Yeah.
If she's talking more that
How
that
does she set 'em
emotional
up to
connection.
win?
And what I would say to Cheryl is, I would say that during the midst of this, between now and December 31st, any of the one-on-one heart times that you can have with kids, going out for a Coke or coffee or something, and just saying, breathing into them, casting vision for their life
Right.
spiritually, that, because kids will go, oh, we're going to miss you, it won't be the same, and, no, I've watched God do amazing things in your life, and you've been growing spiritually, and I would love to see you take some leadership here, and,
Empowering them,
one
yeah.
of the greatest ways that you could encourage me is to keep going and keep leading and
Right.
lead your small group or whatever it might be, but have some of those heartfelt one-on-one moments where it's not I mean, what there's the selfish side of some leaders. It would not be Cheryl, I could just sense from her maturity, but
Yeah.
sometimes when leaders leave, they want bad things to happen because they want to go, look what kind of leader I was, look, it fell apart without my leadership.
Right.
That's not good leadership, and I don't sense that's Cheryl's heart at all, but to really walk through with some kids and leaders about how to step up their leadership. Because a lot of times, especially if you have a strong lead youth worker, some of your volunteers will back up a little bit, and they'll let you take the lead, and then you kind of cripple them along
Right.
the way.
I'd like to dovetail into that one, if I may.
Please.
I think if you're going to try and ramp up and help some other leaders step up, that a practical thing you can do to support them or to get them going is to really take some time by yourself and then with a few others, but take some time and identify what is it that absolutely must happen. Prioritize some of the stuff that says, and I don't know what your ministry is and what's going on, but to say, we need to meet once a week, and there needs to be these two things happening at it. There needs to be one email that goes out once a month. Stuff that's really practical. Not obviously some of the things are going to be really important, and some of the things are going to be not so important. But to identify what those are, almost like
Some
just
key tasks.
a key tasks and a few responsibilities, but obviously not something like, hey, run the ministry. That's not.
Right.
And even if you walk to the 10 greatest people and say, now, what do you want to do? Just do it. That's even tough too. You're really empowering that person, but you're not. It's not helping transition the ministry until there's another leader in place. That's why I think if you do come up with some tasks and some specific responsibilities, that's the bare bones of what must happen. That will equip those leaders that you're trying to challenge.
Well, and also let's back this up for everybody, even those that aren't in transition. One of the things leaders do is leaders are always looking for who's next. You know, who's next, who can take that. You know, I used to call it planned absence, that you actually, you know, if you get a Wednesday night program on Tuesday night, I can't be there tomorrow, I need to scramble, and you give people leadership opportunities. You plan it, you know, make up some reason, go out with your
Right.
spouse, something
Right.
like that, but you allow other people to step up. And one of our jobs as leaders is always looking to see who's next, who's out there that could do this. If I can't, you know, if pastor calls me away to do something, I need somebody to fill this role. And I think for all of us, you know, any youth worker listening, that's one of the tasks of leadership.
It's one of the 7 highly effective habits of Stephen Covey.
Okay. Good. Michael Wilson, Houston, Texas. As I loaded up my iPod with a podcast, I found myself having to remove some songs to make room for it.
Excellent
Oh, boy.
decision.
Gone were greats like David Crowder, DC Talk, and some guy named Jeremy Camp in preparation for my drive to see my in-laws.
DC Talk
DC
clearly is a great, well
Sorry
qualified.
about that.
DC Talk and Tate, or just DC Talk?
That's kind of impressive,
well
you know.
You
played.
are such a current
You
youth.
are a
Right here.
CCM.
See that? No,
What
those are
is
my
that?
fingers are on the pulse of youth. Man.
Matt, you
They
took
are.
me to a DC Talk concert.
You did?
I did.
Wait.
Them and
Holy-
audio adrenaline.
Oh, and Audio A? Oh, yeah.
And
On our 8-hour
Audio A,
drive
whatever.
through the
Brenda
wasteland
Vincent.
of South Texas to Oklahoma, I relived great moments moments.
I'm sure those were great
Yeah,
moments too.
those are also. Okay.
I relived great moments of podcast history, like Josh wanting to discard the Good Old Boys Network for an online Jedi Knight inspired PDYM network.
what is he talking about?
I don't know.
I'm thinking
Some gaming thing.
No, I'm thinking he probably wanted to ditch the podcast for a Star Wars podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
with you and Tony. Who are
Oh,
these guys?
who are these guys?
Yeah.
I
Are you
don't-
still doing that podcast?
No,
No,
is that.
nobody could figure
Anyway,
out who they are.
hearing Matt and Brazel's piercing laugh, as well as Matt commenting that Doug was burping in my mouth, and Matt talking about the canonization of Scripture.
Canada.
That was
Did I
just
get that?
recently.
I got that wrong, huh?
Now I am
Some
sitting at my computer wondering when the elusive next podcast will appear. What happened to the consistency that is spoken of in the beginning of number 50 of the 60
Oh.
podcast? Here's a chance
don't
for a
you
bet
do
for
your
Josh
own
to get out
podcast,
I
of
buddy?
love it.
I may just resign myself to sell my computer and join the nearest Good Old Boys network. With warm regards, Michael Wilson.
Wow, well, there you go.
Hey, you know what?
Michael,
He
you're
will
not,
not
he's
be a
not
part of
listening
any
anymore.
Good Old Boys Network
You know what? Speaking of
with an attitude like that.
a replacement podcast, there is somebody who wrote in.
I can't believe you laughed at the Numa videos. Were you thinking I was going to say Numa?
A little bit. A little bit.
It seems like that you wouldn't laugh at those, that you would think that that's a cool thing for
They're
somebody to
fine.
do.
They're fine. Yeah.
What's funny is you didn't laugh first, because
It was my
well, your
suggestion.
joke. but
Isn't there
you're
also
not
It
back-
wasn't a
a
joke.
backstory to the Numa videos that
No? Not that I'm aware of.
well, it's not one. I'll tell you about it afterwards.
Oh.
Okay, it's one that I think that's what you were
Yeah.
referring to. Yeah, I
But
thought
not. Yeah.
I didn't know the backstory.
Oh.
That was a legitimate suggestion with no jokes.
I like it. I like Numa videos.
You better.
so. Pause. There's something
I
awkward.
like Rob Bell.
awkward here.
You better. He's going to be your
Matt,
boss.
what about this plane in your? Is that one of your things to make money right there?
What are you doing? You gonna sell it on eBay?
That's right.
Oh, that reminds me. So in Atlanta, after one of the seminars, I'm sitting
Yeah.
around talking to people. A guy comes up
Brazel's listening.
drinking a Coke. You know this guy?
He took 4 pictures of me.
What?
He's
awesome.
he's
With you or of you?
That's more
Well-
pictures than his mom has.
He comes up and he says, "You signed my cup." And I go,
So
"What?"
it wasn't even a question. It was a statement.
He says, "This is the cup you signed." And I go, kind of looked at him a little odd. And
Oh,
remember, he goes,
wow.
and I said, "Where'd you get that?" He goes, "I bought it on eBay."
Oh, brother.
And I went,
And he brought it with.
and he
That
brought it
is
with him.
awesome.
That he bought it on eBay, and he brought it with him. And
No way.
And I vaguely remember, like, he must have sent in something. He said, "You guys haven't had anything on eBay to sell recently." And so I signed a cup.
Wow.
And,
And we-
you-
oh, yeah,
And
yeah,
then I
yeah.
said, "How much did you pay for it?" He goes, "I'm too embarrassed to."
No.
I do remember that now. Yeah, it was like this. Like you brought in a cup that day.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
And we were just
And
goofing
he's
around.
still carrying it
Well,
around.
he carried it because he wanted a picture of me and him in the cup.
Oh, that's
And did
awesome.
that money go to buy goats
I
or
was just
goat
saying-
sandwiches?
No,
Or
I'm wondering.
Outback.
I'm wondering how
Outback
much
last Friday.
if we've got the other goats, because I bet you Josh's got a little stash hidden somewhere.
Well,
for
let's
him.
put some more stuff on eBay so I can get that money back.
So anyway, I was drinking a cup at that point, or drinking, and he says, "Can I have that one too?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely." There was stuff in it, and he was a little odd.
Was he a
Very
youth?
funny.
Yeah, he was funny
He
when I
wasn't a
met him.
PDYM stalker?
No, but
Not
speaking of
podcast stalker.
speaking of PDYM stalkers, no, he wasn't a PDYM stalker. He was a podcast guy.
Do you have a stalker you need me to take care of?
No, that would mean we'd have to spend time together.
Bring
for
in
you
the
to know
heavy.
about it.
Oh.
Oh.
But we do have PDYM community lunches next
Ooh,
week.
this is
Do.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all over the place. So check the PDYM blog,
We have community
.com.
lunches.
PDYM community
Why don't you-
Now,
lunches.
what
Why
is
don't
a
you
community
explain one?
lunch? I pay a lot of money.
No, you don't pay a lot of
Okay,
money.
that's
No, it's
good.
free?
That's great. Okay, so
It's like $5 to cover your
Oh, sorry, I do
lunch.
pay
They're
some
in
money.
your areas. You look on the website,
Yeah.
and they're
and is it an infomercial the whole time that I'm there?
no. It's actually this time is some training by
Excellent.
Megan Hutchinson. Life Hurts, God Heals.
Perfect. Like a DVD training or
Yes.
video training?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
DVD training.
That's excellent. So I
Yeah.
don't pay very much money. I get to meet other youth workers in my area, and I get some free training.
That's correct.
Nice.
Thank you, Matt.
PDYMblog.com.
That was good. That
Yeah,
was
that was
awesome.
very
Your
good.
network needs.
Unrehearsed.
Did you
Nicely
s-
done.
did you
Okay,
see
I'm
that
trying
I
to find-
I addressed the questions of the critic,
Felt humble. I mean,
and no, it wasn't.
No, you
humble.
really guided.
You
You really
carried
did a
It
good job
was.
guiding.
Thank you.
You not only
Did
carry
I
the show,
guided
you
it?
guide.
I guided and
You guide
carried.
all information.
and you usher in the
Hey,
kingdom.
do we have any
I'm
more
starting to get
PDYM news
tired.
that we can announce?
That we're going to do 2 regionals.
Yes.
We're going to do two.
Two?
What does
regionals
that
in
mean?
the
Two
spring.
Here's what's
regionals?
coming up.
I thought regionals were my job.
Regional
Yeah,
campuses.
you got fired.
Oh.
I'm now the future.
Oh, yeah, by the way. Jana is the future. Hey, it didn't wait for you, Matt.
PDYM regionals coming up April 18th and 19th in
Wow.
Texas.
Wow.
So what's this
That's
PDYM
cool.
regional? Is that a conference?
It is. This is what we're gonna do on Friday evening. We're gonna do a Life Hurts, God Heals,
On
and
video?
on
The
Saturday,
same one
no,
you get-
live
oh,
teaching.
Okay.
And on Saturday, we're gonna do a one-day PDYM. Bring your volunteers. Bring
So
your
it's like a
team.
mini conference.
It's like a
It
mini
is.
conference.
It's like a
It's-
two-day.
The Texas
It's
one is
a
outside of
two-dayer.
Dallas.
Yes.
Outside of Dallas. That's
so
cool.
Texas. So you're
We're
going.
gonna do Texas.
And then we're doing
April
Florida.
18th and 19th. Florida May 16th and 17th. Then in the fall, we're going to do two.
Two more.
Two more. We're not exactly
Cool.
sure where those are. And then
Who's
in the
teaching day
spring,
two?
in the spring of
Are you-
09, we're going to have back having a conference, like a 3-day conference at Saddleback.
That sounds
Yes.
like the
That's
future.
neat.
Nobody cares.
So, Life
Um,
Hurts, God Heals will be taught by Megan Hutchinson, and the one-day PDYM will be taught by Doug Fields.
So bring your
himself.
friends, bring your volunteers,
Nice.
and we'll see you in Texas in April and Florida in May.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
you should teach some of the sessions.
I will
This is
be
actually
very
breaking news.
pregnant.
We haven't put this on anything yet, have we?
No, it's not
In
even
fact,
on
I
our
think
web.
I might actually be finding out
You
about
need
it right
to
now.
go home and do some work.
I'm gonna get on email.
No, you'll
and-
blog about it. It'll be.
I will
breaking
blog about
news.
it
It'll be
today.
old
I
It'll
news.
be old
need-
news when the show goes
I
live.
need
Yeah.
I need somebody to write back in because I
Yabba dabba
somehow
dee
I
ba
cannot
do,
find
I
this
need a
this
Go on.
dabba dabba dee
email.
ba day.
It was a guy who said, "I am so excited that at the youth ministry conference that group and Simply Youth Ministry is putting on in February that you guys are going to do a podcast." And he was saying that he wants to sit at the feed, he wants
Oh.
to sit at the table, and he actually wrote
We got
he,
some stinky
he
feet.
wrote a pretty funny email. And I
Yeah.
thought I would, because we talked about you might be in Africa, McGill, and you
Oh,
might not be
wow.
able to do it, which would be a bummer. But I thought maybe we could do an audition,
Ooh,
and
send
have
in.
somebody send in. We make some contest, and we get that person
I
to
like
be
it.
at Cincinnati for
Sit in
our
Matt's seat.
sit in Matt's seat,
There it is.
or I can get Duffy to do it, because Duffy will be there. And a
He's
lot
a
of-
Yeah,
lot
but-
funnier and smarter than I am.
well, smarter,
True,
that's
but it might be
sure.
fun just to have one of our listeners.
Yeah.
in honor.
Duffy's-
That
Duffy's
could be.
pretty
So anyway, whoever that was, it was well written.
Brilliant.
It was funny, and I can't find it.
Josh
I-
has
Andy-
it somewhere.
I'm sure I do.
But anyway, I thought maybe if Matt's not there right now, Matt's planning on being there, but they might go to Africa
Yeah,
to
I
adopt their
mean,
baby.
Mish might go, or I might go.
Or you and Mish might go.
No, because the kids.
It has
Because
to
you
be
have
one
to
of
be
you
there
too.
for like 6 weeks. How long?
Well, it might not have to be that long, and it might have to be longer. So it's just kind of a mess.
Wow.
Gosh, here it is. It's the top one right here. Jason,
Hey,
Jason
wow.
Underwood.
Wow.
Thanks for
What do
listening
you
to
want
what
for
I'm
Christmas?
saying.
Trinity Memorial
Thanks.
Baptist
Thanks
Church.
for asking
Oh
the
yeah, were you
question
talking
and
about your
listening.
child? You're going to adopt from Africa?
Hmm.
This is a little bit.
More important.
You mentioned doing a live podcast from the conference in Ohio. My wife and I want in. I don't know if you guys remember me. Josh might. I'm the guy with the autographed Darth Vader Dave Doorman lithograph.
Yes.
XBL gamertag House of Fern.
Oh, House of Fern. I played with him the other night on Xbox Live.
Did you?
You know
Do you
you're
have
going to be
House of
able to
Fern?
see friends lists.
I know on
That'll be
December
sweet.
4th. Can't wait.
Oh,
I don't have
gosh.
House of Fern.
Xbox, Call of Duty 4.
Leaping Potok, add me.
Yeah, Leaping Potok and the Force Net, and now House of Fern.
P-O-T-O-C-K.
I'm just as big a Star Wars geek as Josh. Do you think
Not
No,
true. It's
not
not possible.
possible.
But I will say this: he's a big geek. I remember this conversation. He is a big geek.
You're not really that much of a Star Wars geek. You're into
Yes.
it for the hype.
in the
yeah.
dough?
Yeah, I'm really the dough.
I'm as sarcastically.
He's into it for the no.
I'm as sarcastically
counts.
helpful. What?
Yeah, that's
That's-
definitely.
Yeah,
Did you
that
see
counts.
it?
Yeah, that was shut up. Let's
That's
go.
4 of 4.
That's two.
4 of no. That did you? That could be
I'm
4.
as
Matt got the last
sarcastically
one.
helpful as Matt, and I love the podcast. You need me.
You need
In all seriousness, it would be a
Wow.
tremendous honor to sit at the feet of what I believe to be the most influential team ever assembled in youth ministry.
Dun, 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 dun,
Your
dun,
honesty
dun.
during the podcast and the resources you make available to all of us have had a tremendous impact on the way my team and I do ministry. Sitting in with you would be the closest brush with fame I've ever had. Isn't that sad? Here's what I'm saying.
That's sad.
Here's what I'm saying right now.
Who cares about
Jason,
fame?
Front runner.
Jason, you are the front
Yes.
runner
He's our
for
man.
that spot in
Wait, is it an audition or is it write us a sappy email?
I don't know what we're going to do yet, but here's what we're going to do.
I want
Let's keep this
mattseat.com.
email taped in here.
Great.
And in February 25th, 22nd through the 25th, we're going to be in Ohio.
Here's how it's
And
only
let
gonna
me
work.
let me just
3.
3.
At least 3.
I wasn't even trying
And for those who are just listening on video, when I touch Matt, it just
I'm
means
touching
be quiet.
Matt.
Yeah, I know.
not
It's like,
good.
oh,
listening
Well,
on
here's the
video.
deal.
don't listen.
The-
Just watch.
Our National Youth Ministry Conference that Tony Dungy's going to be at.
Doug Fields is going to be
Tim-
there.
Tim-
What is it?
Timmons, lead
Youthministry.com
worship,
/
Conference.
conference. It's going to sell out.
Yeah, it's already getting. It's not close, but it will sell
It's
out.
filling
Yeah.
up. It's
Well,
good.
Yeah,
it's
it's full-
like
I
last year at this time we were at like
You know, you're
So
talking to youth
100
workers, right? Who do the same thing to their kids when they're selling out candy.
We're selling out. We only have
but the youth workers that
400.
listen know that we're honest about that. Last year about this time we had about 100 people signed up.
And you didn't say last year it's going to sell out.
No.
I think you said I think it's going to, but
There's over 1,000.
There's over 1,000
There's over
registered
1,000?
right
That is
now.
good.
really?
Yeah, and we can only hold 2,000.
Matt, you got to put your thing on hold and
Anyway,
come with us to Cincinnati.
Jason Underwood, you are the front runner for filling Matt's spot if he can't be there.
Okay, we'll tape it up.
And even
Write
if
your
you-
sappy emails.
No,
He's welcome to fit it. He's
we got to
welcome
come up with a
fill it even if I am
contest.
there.
Let's right now on the spot. Let's come up with a contest. How do you get in Matt's seat?
Here's what you guys are going to have to do. If I'm not there, you're going to have to hang out with him a couple times before he's going to feel comfortable.
No, it wouldn't be
Chemistry.
fair
or
to
he's
the
going to
tradition.
he's going to be a moron on the podcast.
What if it's video auditions? You send us
It
30
actually
seconds.
said he and his wife.
Well, I,
That's not
My
okay,
wife
here's the
and
first
I
thing.
in.
You gotta want to be at the conference. Like I don't want somebody
Right,
just
right.
to come do it who's not gonna want to be
I
at
think
the
the
conference.
podcast is more important than the conference.
I think he's got a point this
People that
time.
want to come to the podcast that don't attend conference.
Really,
Oh.
that live in Cincinnati area that will just come.
I feel
That
sorry
is so
for
weird
people.
because I still.
Seriously.
I know, and this is what
Get
people think we're
a
faking it.
life.
I still don't get it that people are so into this. But
What?
we
You
gotta.
don't think you're interesting?
What?
You're
You
the
don't
one
think
carrying the
you're
show.
Interesting?
No, I don't. It's almost. I mean, people are buying cups off of eBay.
For
They're-
goats, though.
Yeah, for charity.
Do you tithe? Why did you didn't get anything out of your tithe? It's the same principle.
Oh, okay.
Wait, let's go back to him thinking he's interesting.
Yeah. Well, you're saying you can't believe people listen to the show, right?
No, I'm not saying I can't believe people listen to the
I'm
show. I'm
sorry.
ca-
I
there's
spoke
just
out of
this
turn.
like funny enthusiasm
Yeah.
around it that a year later still kind of
A
catches
year,
me off
it's
guard.
longer
A
than
year and a
that.
half later.
Dude,
Yeah.
welcome to Web 2.0.
All right. Well,
Well, anyhow,
so
come to
anyway,
the
what
group
do you
conference.
think? 30-second video?
30-second video auditions.
How are they going to send it to us?
What do you? Can we upload
Oh,
them to
YouTube it to us.
YouTube them and send them to podcast simply.
Done. Send
Hey,
us
then
the
what
link.
we can do, we can link to them.
Let other people vote.
People vote. Good idea.
Oh,
Can't you
yeah.
set up
We
your
have
own?
the
You,
coolest voting tool set up on the podcast page. Right now, there's a poll: who wants to YouTube be a team for the Biggest Loser?
which did you read Matthew McNutt's email? That's already
Yeah, Matthew
that's
McNutt
not
wrote in this
available
week.
anymore.
Oh, it's not?
The Biggest Loser.
No.
Matt and I were going to team up and be on the show, but it's already filming the next episode.
Okay, well, let's do this. Corey Miller next week.
If that
Troy
wasn't supposed to be
Dunham
revealed, we
next
sorry,
week
Matt,
from
if you get sued.
Saskatchewan. Andy Bristol's in my pile for next week.
All right,
That'll
Andy.
be lost between
Wes
now
Corey
and
Miller's
Ford,
faithful, huh?
Michael Wilson, Dustin Rogers, Peter from St. Paul, Minnesota, and John Shell. And Matt, you actually,
Yes, actually.
Matt said these will be lost between now and next week.
Yes.
Just want to let you know, last night, I made a little file that says podcast.
No, this is a joke. This is a
Sucks so
joke.
bad.
File number 12.
Yeah,
Okay,
and-
okay,
and every time I get into the back of your car,
These
there's
need to
like
be
6
organized.
podcast
These
folders.
organized
I know.
better.
File
I
of the
know.
month.
Not
Sit-
even Jana the Golden Child can organize these for you.
Okay, so here's the thing that I'm thinking about.
So they're organized.
They may be lost by next week, but
They
I
will
doubt
be.
it. I
They'll be
doubt it.
lost
Not
in the
these,
folder
not
though that
these.
says podcast.
But I do have a folder in my car that's really thick. That's a lot of past emails.
Yeah.
And so I kind of gave up on that, and this is now the future. This is the future
This is the
system
Matt
right here.
McGill.
This is
Matt
the
should
system.
sign it.
So I'm
Oh,
thinking.
I'm the
Sign it, we'll
future
put it on
then.
eBay.
I'm thinking the
You
people,
fired
the people that have written in that we haven't answered the questions.
Too late. It's gone. Sorry.
Either they were too long, or I lost them.
Or they're
They're
sitting
in
in
the
the back
Forerunner.
seat of the car. Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll never get to them because
Yeah.
this is the pile. So it's fresh new material coming in.
Yep.
And
All
on
right.
that note,
You could have just moved that label over 2 millimeters and it wouldn't be hanging off the edge.
I know I was doing it during the Laker game.
Drives me crazy.
Yeah, sorry. All right. Anything else? We're running out of time.
let's roll it up. Let's
All
do
right.
this.
Andy,
What? 4 minutes.
we hit
9.99 1-minute Bibles.
$9.99 1-minute
Oh.
Bibles almost.
Go buy your 1-minute Bible.
Yeah,
Thanks for listening
let's
to
just
the
put it.
Simply
Let's just put it
podcast.
this way.
Just sell them
I'm-
$10.
I'm
Don't
driving-
try and
no, here's the
connive
deal.
people.
I'm driving to Cody's football game, and he says, and Jack says to me, he says, "Hey, I know Andy says you're big on pricing the Bibles low in December," and I was like, "Jack, well, that's when everybody kind of starts with the new year. People buy gifts. This is a great time to give youth workers the best deal possible, and that's what I want youth workers to get." He goes, "Yeah, but Doug, we just we can't make any money at $9.99. We can barely make any money at $11.99." And Andy went, and we got into a little bit of pricing. Can you see this conversation, Andy?
I have it at once a week.
Yeah, he has it once a week, and it's legit because
Absolutely
it's
legit.
totally legit. But
Yeah.
But
once
it's
a
not
year,
legit.
once a year in December, $9.99. Okay,
And these aren't the free ones.
these aren't the free ones. No, the free ones are given away. Yeah.
You should have just kept those ones that you got for free and then sold them. Is that
Come on,
ethical?
Matt.
Is that
Huh?
ethical?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Okay, well, you could have asked him.
No, maybe in
No.
New World View and
You
Josh.
said yes.
I said yeah,
He
because
said
I'd be
yeah,
on
and
my day
then
off.
Aaron
I
says
wouldn't
no.
care.
He says.
All right.
It's got just enough youth ministry so that you don't feel guilty listening.